Hi, I'm Brian Miller, professional wood finisher. So today what we're going to do to finish off our Nakashima inspired chair, which has a simple oil finish, we're going to apply a coat of paste wax. Not just an ordinary paste wax, but a paste wax with color in it. You may say, well, why do I want to use a paste wax with color? Because this chair being made out of walnut is an open grain wood, and if you put a clear paste wax, it's not going to dry 100% clear. You'll be able to visibly see the wax in the open pores. So we're going to add colorant to it. So here we have a paste wax, a clear paste wax by the Johnson Company. This product you can readily find. It's widely available at your home box stores, your local hardware stores. And what we're going to do with this clear paste wax is add some colorant to it. This particular colorant is a finely ground pigment into an oil medium. These are called Japan colors. This one's made by the Ronin Company. Now you can get these in half pint sizes that are available, or if that's even too much material for you, you can go to your local art supply store and buy small tubes of oil colorants. Artist oils. They're the exact same types of pigments that are in these larger containers. Okay, so now we're going to take our Johnson's paste wax, our clear paste wax, and put it into a double boiler. Now this is an electric double boiler. I'm sure you at home are much smarter than I am. You don't want to use gas, a flame, unless of course you're trying to look for a way to get rid of those bushy eyebrows. Because trust me, you're going to have a flame. So use an electric one. So on the bottom one we just have water boiling, and the top one we're going to take our wax right out of our container. Now it'll take just a matter of minutes for this to heat up and return to a liquid state. At that point, we're going to add our colorant to it. You'll see that next. Okay, so now our paste wax, it's only been a matter of minutes. It's already come to a complete liquefied state. So at this point, we're going to take our colorant. I have here a color called burnt umber, which is a little bit of a reddish brown, and a secondary color called raw umber, which looks more like mud almost. So we're going to mix some of the burnt umber into it to get that reddish tone that the chair has to it, and just a touch of the raw umber for a little bit of darker tone. You don't have to be exact with this. It's not an exact science. All we're trying to do is take it from a clear to a tone similar to what the chair is itself. Add a touch of the raw umber to it now. I think I got shortchanged on this quart. It's not completely full. Better talk to my supplier about that. Now we'll give it a quick stir. And I'm going to look at it on my paint stick here and see if I think I want to add a little bit more color to it. Yeah, it's a little transparent, so I think what I'm going to do is add a little bit more of each color to it. A little more of the burnt umber again. Like I say, this is not an exact science. You're just trying to get a similar tone, that's all. Yeah, that's better. So now the next step for this is we will take this off the heat, let it cool down, put it back in the container, and let it solidify. Now if you're impatient like I am, I'll put it back in the container and put it in the refrigerator. That'll speed up the process. Okay, so now we're taking it off the heat, the wax, and we're just going to pour it back into the container. Got a little bit of pigment at the bottom. I want to get that mixed in as well. Almost looks like chocolate sauce, doesn't it? So now, like I say, we're going to put that in the refrigerator because I'm impatient and I want this to solidify quicker than later. Okay, so now we poured our paste wax back in the container, put it in the refrigerator. Actually, we put it in the freezer because I'm really impatient. William wanted to get this done. So now our wax you can see is pretty much solidified. We're going to we've taken a little bit now and put it onto a clean cloth, and my God, that looks disgusting. You can either apply the wax directly to the wood, or you can put it inside of a wax like this and just apply it to the surface. This isn't rocket science. Now, just like wax in a car, we're going to let that haze come to a haze, and at that point, then we'll be ready to buff it off. Now, we've let the wax dry several minutes. Now we're just going to take a clean cloth. This has got a little wax on it, but it's fine. It's clean enough. I like old t-shirts. They work really well. They don't tend to lint very much when they're really well used like this and washed. So now we're just going to take our cloth and buff the surface and take off the excess wax. What I like about wax is it just gives it a particular look and a feel, and it does add a slight amount of protection, not a lot, depending on what type of wax you use. This case, most of your waxes you buy off the shelf are going to be a combination of beeswax and carnauba wax. Carnauba wax being a harder wax. It comes from the Brazilian palm tree. Just straight carnauba wax is very difficult to rub out, so that's why they typically mix it with beeswax, which is a softer wax. Now look at the beautiful glow that gives to the wood. Okay, so again, today we used Johnson's clear paste wax that we added some liquid colorant, some pigment to it. The reason being is if you can't find a colored paste wax off the shelf, you've seen how simple it is to make one yourself. The reason you do want to use a colored paste wax again is this is an open grain wood. Clear paste wax will not dry 100% clear. It will dry to a certain milkiness. You'll see it in the open grain. Not a good look for this beautiful Nakashima inspired chair. Now, later on, I'm going to show you in another episode, if you want to make your own paste wax and you want something that's even a little harder yet, here we have carnauba wax. And they've made it where it looks like little pumpkin seeds almost. So you would melt this down the same way we did this paste wax, mix it with a small percentage of beeswax, depending on how hard you want the wax to be. You have complete control over that when you're mixing the wax yourself. So I could take a ratio of, say, 2 parts carnauba to 1 part beeswax. With the beeswax here, I take it and either cut it with a knife, an X-Acto blade, or you can put it on, say, a cheese grater that your wife will really hate you for using. And put it into the double boiler the same way, but then you're going to have to add some solvent to it to make it go to a liquid. We'll talk about that at a later episode. Thanks for joining us today, and I hope to see you soon.